Jūsų ekscelencija, Jungtinių tautų organizacijos generalinis sekretorius, ekscelencijos ambasadoriai, ekscelencijos viskupai, gerbiami Seimo ir vyriausybės nariai, magnificencijos rektoriai, Kauno merė, garbės daktarai ir profesoriai, visi Darniaus universiteto akademinės bendruomenės nariai, garbūs svečiai. Sveikinu Jūs susirinkusius į iškilmingą Senato posėdį. Ypatingai norėčiau pasveikinti Jungtinių tautų generalinį sekretorių, Jo ekscelenciją poną Ban Ki-mooną, kuris suteikė mūsų universitetui garbę, sutikdamas priimti garbės daktaro vardą bei regalijas. Tai neeilinė ir džiugi šventė visai Vytauto didžiojo universiteto bendruomeniai. Nors mūsų universitetas dar jaunas, tačiau turime brandžių tradicijų, kurias tęsėme ir šiandien. Didžioji mūsų alma mater misija – puoselėti humanistinę kultūrą, plėtojant partnerystę, aktyviai dalyvaujant Lietuvos ateities kūrime, bei prisidedant prie pasaulio kultūros ir mokslo raidos. Universitetas išugdė didžiąją dalį Lietuvos Respublikos intelektualinio, kultūrinio, politinio elito, visų pirma, šalies komunitarinį inteligentiją bei diplomatinį korpusą. Nuo universiteto įkūrimo jau beveik 8 dešimtmečiams Lietuvai ir Vytauto didžiojo universitetui nusipelniusių asmenų buvo suteiktas garbės daktaro arba garbės profesoriaus vardas. Tikiu, kad tokia Vytauto didžiojo universiteto bendruomenės narių įvairovė yra viena didžiausių mūsų stiprybių. Tik nuoširdžiai tarpusavy bendradarbiaudami ir keisdamiesi idėjomis galime kurti šviesesnę mūsų tautos, valstybės ir viso pasaulio ateitį. Tuomis skelbiu iškilmingą posėdį pradėtų.
Dėkojame Senato pirmininkui. Dabar prasidės iškilminga Vytauto didžiojo universiteto garbės daktaro regalijų įteikimų ceremonija. Pristatyti Jo ekscelenciją Ban Ki-mooną kviečiu prie mikrofono į magnificenciją Vytauto didžiojo universiteto rektorių, profesorių Zigmą Lidelį.
Jūsų ekscelencija, Jungtinių tautų generalinis sekretoriau, ekscelencijos ambasadoriai, ekscelencijos vyskupai, gerbiami Seimo ir vyriausybės nariai, Kauno merė, magnificencijos rektoriai, garbės daktarai ir profesoriai, universiteto akademinės bendruomenės nariai, brangūs svečiai, ponios ir ponai. Ši diena, kaip ir visi šie akademiniai metai, atkurtojo Vytauto didžiojo universiteto istorijoje, taip pat ir mūsų valstybės istorijoje, bus įprasminta kaip išskirtinė. Tam yra net kelios ypatingai svarę intelektualią galią ir šio renginio misiją įprasminančios priežastys. Mylėjai, kaip pirmąją šių priežasčių, leiskite man paminėti tą faktą, kad Vytauto didžiojo universiteto bendruomenė ir toliau konsoliduojasi, dar labiau stiprėja, atliepdama klasikinio universiteto, kaip artes liberalės idėjų puoselėtojų vaizdiniui, nuosekliai ir atvirai deklaruoti pamatinės žmogiškasias vertybės, įprasminti autentišką laisvės ir savirealizacijos tikslų siekį, ginti demokratijos bei solidarumo principus. Gerbimieji, šiandieninio iškilmingo Vytauto didžiojo universiteto garbės daktaro regalijų suteikimo ritualo metu mūsų universiteto bendruomenė į savo gretas priima viešosios politikos profesionalą, diplomatą, visuomenės veikėją, Jungtinių tautų generalinį sekretorių, Jo ekscelenciją poną Ban Ki-mooną. Jo ekscelencija nusipelnė Vytauto didžiojo universiteto garbės daktaro vardo už svarų indėlį į tarptautinės bendruomenės plėtotę, už nuolatinės pastangas viešosios diplomatijos kalba ir realia praktika siekti tautų bendrijos sugyvenimo. tarptautinės bendruomenės akyse generalinis sekretorius yra Jungtinių tautų simbolis. Tokias pareigas einančiam asmeniui patikėtos pareigos yra labai įvairios, tačiau jos visos pasižymė reikšmingumu žmonijai. Per savo vadovavimo Jungtinėms tautoms metus Jo Ekscelencija aktyviai siekė konsoliduoti tarptautinės bendruomenės pastangas, sprendžiant pasaulinius iššūkius, tokius kaip žmogaus teisių stebėsena, klimato kaita, pandemijos, maisto, energijos ir vandens atsargų užtikrinimas ir suteikti svaresnį balsą pasaulio vargingiesiems. Jo Ekscelencija iškėlė ir vykdo svarbias švietimo projektų iniciatyvas, sulaukiančias tvirto tarptautinės bendruomenės palaikymo. Jungtinių tautų rezoliucijos, deklaracijos, konvencijos tai pagrindinės priemonės suteikiančios galimybę kolektyviai spręsti paminėtus ir kitus pasauliui kylančius iššūkius. Jo Ekscelencija Ban Ki-moonas taip pat aktyviai ir drąsiai išreiškia pozicijas dėl konfliktų ir jų prevencijos, tarpininkauja, teikia pasiūlymus ir bando įtikinti atitinkamų valstybių vadovus dėl konfliktų taikaus sprendimo. Sekretorius aktyviai domisi šalių, patiriančių pereinamojo laikotarpio problemomis, ieško galimybių joms padėti ir kviečia teigiamą patirtį turinčias demokratinės šalis, tarp jų Lietuvą, aktyviai veikti stiprinant demokratiją kitose regionuose. Tad mūsų šalies narystė Jungtinėse tautose ir ryšiai įprasminantys nedidelės šalies tiek simbolinį, tiek ir praktinį reikšmingumą bei socialinį kapitalą įgyjamą dalyvaujant tarptautinės bendruomenės projektuose yra ypatingai svarbus ir aktualūs, ugdant naują, pilietiškai angažuotą jaunąją pasaulio piliečių kartą. Garbūs svečiai, ši diena savyje talpina išties didžiulę simbolinę prasmę. Ją galima pažymėti ir istorinę mūsų valstybės pergalę. Svarbu pažymėti, kad nuo šiol Lietuva 2 metų mandatui išrinkta nenuolatinė narė į Jungtinių tautų saugumo tarybą. Šis mūsų šalies diplomatų ir politikos profesionalų darbo įvertinimas dar labiau sustiprins Lietuvos tarptautinį prestižą ir įtaką, skatins užsienio politikos efektyvumą. Tai sykiu prieš naujas tarptautinės politikos reikšmingumo gaires ir būsimiems šio praktinio ir akademinio lauko, tokio kaip politikos mokslai, tarptautiniai santykiai, regionų studijos, viešoji diplomatija, tarpkultūrinė komunikacija, pilietinės visuomenės projektai ir kiti studentams, profesūrai ir profesionalams. Mielos ponios ir garbūs ponai, už savo nuopelnus Jungtinių tautų generalinis sekretorius ponas Ban Ki-moonas yra gavęs apdovanojimų iš įvairių pasaulio regiono valstybių. Paminėčiau Alžyro, Austrijos, Dramblio kaulo kranto, Filipinų, Indonezijos, Monako, Kazachstano, Peru, Pietų Korėjos, Salvadoro, Tadžikijos ir kitų. Mums išties didžiulė garbė, kad šiame turtingame valstybių ir aukščiausios akademinės lygos institucijų sąraše deramą vietą užims ir Vytauto didžiojo universitetas. Didžiai gerbiami šio iškilmingo Vytauto didžiojo universiteto garbės daktaro regalijų suteikimo ritualo dalyviai. Šiandien čia pristatyto žmogaus, Ekscelencijos Jungtinių tautų generalinio sekretoriaus Ban Ki-moono asmenyje, jo diplomatinėje veikloje, praktiniuose darbuose susitelkia prasmingos idėjinės ir moralinės dabarties bei ateities nuostatos. Laisvės idėjų, savirealizacijos siekių, taikaus kūrimo dvasioje gimsta, auga, keičiasi, tobulėja laisvas žmogus. Tokioje dvasioje dirba, kuria ir gyvena modernus universitetas, moderni valstybė, modernus pasaulis. Esam laimingi, kad galim kurti jį drauge. Ačiū.
Kviečiu Senato pirmininką profesorių Zigmuntą Kiaupą perskaityti Vytauto Didžiojo universiteto Senato sprendimą.
Jo magnificencija Vytauto Didžiojo universiteto rektorius, vadovaudamasis Senato posėdžio įvykusio 2013 m. lapkričio 13 d. sprendimu skelbė, kad Jungtinių tautų generalinis sekretorius Jo ekscelencija Ban Ki-moon už nuopelnus konsoliduoja tarptautinę bendruomenę globalaus gyvenimo iššūkiams spręsti, už viešosios diplomatijos idealų sklaidą ir nuolatinės pastangas bei iniciatyvas taikai ir saugumui pasaulyje užtikrinti, už demokratijos idėjų ir vystymos tikslų įtvirtinimą globalaus švietimo projektuose, už visuotinę pagarbą žmogaus teisėms ir pagrindiniams laisvėms bei demokratijos idėjų ir vystymo pažangos įtvirtinimą, už paramą stiprinant Lietuvos indėlį į Jungtinių tautų bendriją yra Vytauto Didžiojo universiteto politikos mokslų garbės daktaras. Pasirašo profesorius habilituotas daktaras Zigmas Lydeka, universiteto rektorius, profesorius daktaras Zigmantas Kiaupas, Senato pirmininkas. Magnificentissimus rector Universitatis Vytauti Magnii ad decretum sessionis senatus die tertio decima mensis novembris anno Domini bismillesimo tertimo decimo habite declarat excellentissimum Dominum Ban Ki-moon secretarium generalium consociationis nationum pro meritis in communitatem internationis consolidandam ad provocationes vitae hominum in una societate mundi conjuncti viventium solvendas, pro propagazione optimarum rationum diplomatia publice et assiduis conatibus ad inceptis pacis securitatis quae in orbe terrarum confirmanda, pro solidatione notionum et filium democratiae promovenda, in conciliis de adeputione hominum in universum mundo conjunctim viventium, pro respectu universali iurim humanorum et libertatum principarum ad solidatione notionum et progressus democratiae promovenda, pro sustentatione in augendo contributionem Lituaniae in consortiationem nationum, disciplinarum politicarum, doctoris honoris causa Universitatis Vytauti Magnii constitutum esse. Zigmas Lydeka, profesor habilitatis doktor, rector Universitatis, Zigmantas Kiaupas, profesor doktor, prezes senatas.
kameriniam orkestrui, meno vadovui ir dirigentui Robertui Pliškevičiui. Dabar sveikinimo žodį tarti kviečiu Jo Ekscelenciją Lietuvos Respublikos prezidentą Valdą Adamkų.
Your Excellency, Mr. Secretary General, Your Excellency, Director of University, distinguished audience, dear colleagues. I'm extremely honored to deliver a salutation speech on this special occasion. This is the very first time ever the Secretary General of the United Nations is visiting Lithuania. And we are privileged and proud to award you, Mr. Secretary General, the honorary doctor's degree in political science of Vytautas Magnus University. On Lithuania's behalf, this award you are receiving. Mr. Secretary General celebrates your persistent efforts in the area of public diplomacy and international peace and security, as well as in solving global challenges. The organization you are representing, Mr. Secretary General, has offered a future of more peaceful cooperation and better understanding among nations. Much has been achieved, and our children are able to enjoy a better day. But even greater accomplishment remains to be desired for. Further actions is needed, as some parts of the world, unfortunately, continue to be divided. There are countries where human rights and freedom continues to be undermined, and blood continues to be shed in fights for this free world. Mr. Secretary General, the responsibility you are entrusted with transcends the potential of a human being. Your mandate has been invested with people's hopes for a better and more united tomorrow. You have determined in pursuing this overarching goal. Your being here attests to Lithuania's strong and active commitment to achieving the goals of the United Nations. Lithuania's membership to the United Nations has always been closely linked to its regaining independence and smooth reintegration within the international community of nations. Having known the pains of an unfree world, Lithuania spares no effort in promoting the ideals of the United Nations, most notably the ideals of personal cooperation among nations and the empowerment and well-being of the individual through the promotion of democracy and human rights. In the context of our country's commitment to freedom, our gathering here today in Kaunas has much symbolic meaning to Lithuania and its people. Kaunas is home to the Monument of Freedom, the well-recognized symbol of Lithuania's statehood, destroyed and later rebuilt, and its testimony to an eternal flame that kept alive faith in a better future of the people of Lithuania. I also relate to our gathering here at Vytautas Magnus University a more fundamental meaning. It appears to be important of youth more generally for our common future. Franklin Delano Roosevelt once told that we cannot always build the future for youth, but we can build our youth for the future. History proved him partly wrong. We certainly continue to build our youth for the future, but For almost 70 years, the international community has also been building the future for the youth, consistently and systematically. Thanks to the United Nations, and thanks to your personal involvement and initiatives. Let your resolve continue to inspire the current and future generations throughout the world. Let your unreserved devotion to unwavering loyalty to achieving the ideals of the United Nations serve an example of today's youth. I thank you, and on behalf of the entire audience here, wish you the very best. Thank you very much.
Professor Zigmas Videka, Rector, Vytautas Magnus University, Professor Zigmantas, Chairman of VMU Senate, His Excellency Valdas Adamkus, Chairman of VMU Council, former President of the Republic, Honorable Minister of Education, Interior Minister, Excellencies, members of Diplomatic Corps, distinguished and esteemed faculty members, dear students of this prestigious university, Labas. Thank you for welcoming me to this very historical and prestigious, esteemed university, VMU. It's a great honor for me to be given this honorary doctorate in political sciences, particularly on Sunday afternoon. I hope I'm not spoiling your quiet Sunday afternoon. And I can understand why this university is so respected and prestigious, because you are always working, you are always thirsty for knowledge and information. And I really thank you for this. Is an extraordinary arrangement on Sunday, and it's an extraordinary honor and privilege. I accept this honorary degree, not on my behalf, but on behalf of the United Nations, on behalf of thousands of UN staff, for working day in, day out for international peace and security all around the world. And I'm humbled to serve this great organization, serve for the people who need our helping hands. And this honorary degree, this honor, just motivates me, strengthens my resolve to do even harder for international community. I count on people and government of Lithuania to work together with the United Nations. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm pleased to be the first United Nations Secretary General to visit Lithuania. This visit has given me a window into your country's dynamic engagement on many critical issues facing our world today. Lithuania is strongly committed to maintaining positive and constructive neighborly relations. I have just visited Latvia, Estonia, and heard about how you are striving together to make the Baltic area a strong and thriving region. Your people and people in this Baltic have known the adversity and demonstrated such a strong will and persevered this difficulty, and finally achieved your independence, your identity, your integrity. And you are shining examples of making such a great and smoother transition into a fuller participatory democracy, fair and just society, where men and women are living together with a human dignity. Your chairmanship of presidency of European Union at this time means a great recognition of your capacity of delivering peace and development and human rights. Now, I'd like to congratulate sincerely the election of Lithuania to the seat of the Security Council, one of the most important organs of the Charter Organization of the United Nations. This is a testament to your confidence and capacity and trust the international community is giving to your people. And the international community is now looking to your leadership for global peace and security and human rights. Now you are going beyond your country, you are going beyond your region. And I really am committed as a Secretary General to work very closely with your government delegation in New York. Now I understand that you are going to host another very important summit later this month, Eastern Partnership. Lithuania continues to deepen its involvement in the great project of European integration. As a young country that has gone through a successful democratic transition, you are to be commended for sharing your experience with others. As a country that has overcome the financial crisis, you have recognized that the way out must involve sacrifice and as well as innovation. I will count on your continuing engagement and leadership when we are working together to face all these global and regional challenges. Your current contributions to the International Security Force in Afghanistan and the European Union training mission in Mali, that is very much important, and your contribution of long-standing commitment to conflict resolution and peacekeeping, including a dozen of United Nations operations, is very much welcome and highly appreciated. Lithuania may be a relatively small country, but your contributions to the international community are substantial. Esteemed professors, ladies and gentlemen, those contributions are needed now more than ever. These are challenging times. We live in an era of transition and dramatic change. We face the crisis in Syria, the world's biggest peace and security challenges. We face climate change, the world's largest threat to our future. We are also currently grappling with the realities of the typhoon that has just devastated the Philippines. Philippines may be far away from this country, but we are living in a global family. It's not that far. They are all your neighbors. This typhoon in Philippines, one of the largest storms to make landfall, with horrendous destruction and loss of life. Extreme weather is not the hypothetical issue for tomorrow. It is a reality today. Typhoon Haiyan is a brutal reminder of the serious consequences we face without a change in course. We also face a host of dramatic developments that are redrawing the global political and economic landscape. bringing both opportunity and risk. The global transition is economic, as the countries of the South emerge as the hub of global dynamism. These emerging economies are now taking a great part in the world economy. And cooperation and aid used to be coming from north to south. Now cooperation is between and among south to south. It's not only, they are now changing all this traditional, conventional way of doing business. This global transition is also technological, with huge advances in global connectivity that have major implications for health, sanitation, education, and good governance, particularly through e-governance, which makes your society much more transparent, accountable, just and fair. And I am very much impressed by what you are doing with just the limited resources. This morning, I had the quite impressive visit to a BOD group where they are researching and making innovations for renewable energy through solar energy. This is the answer for the future challenges in addressing many global challenges. The challenges are also environmental. As we seek to improve the stewardship of resources and a more sustainable path. And global transition is also political. So now I'm talking about the global transitions are economic, technological, environmental, and finally political. You have seen such an outcry in many of the Arab countries. Many people, women, girls, and boys, they have come out to the streets and shouting and yearning for their aspirations. The leaders have not listened carefully, sincerely, to the voices of the people. They did not care much about what would be their concerns and aspirations would be. I have been repeatedly saying that leaders must listen very carefully, seriously, attentively, what their aspirations are. We have many young people who will be the leaders of tomorrow. I urge again, leaders, they should listen very attentively to the aspirations and concerns, or even grievances of young people who are suffering from lack of opportunities, lack of employment. The United Nations is engaged on all these fronts, and comprehensively. We feed 90 million people every day around the world. We host 36 million refugees around the world. This includes more than 2 million refugees who have fled from Syria. We vaccinate more than 60% of world's children around the world to save their lives. Our work for the Millennium Development Goals has generated the most effective anti-poverty push in history. We have been able to cut by half the number of people who are living in abject poverty. But there is still much more to do, because still 1 billion people go to bed hungry every night with an empty stomach. Now we are pressing to accelerate to beat the target of Millennium Development Goals. This is our #1 priority at this time. #2 priority is that after 2015, when MDG meets its deadline, we have to establish and define a future development agenda which will comprehensively address the concerns and problems of our world, socially, economically, and environmentally sustainable world. That we have termed sustainable development. We are working very hard to draw out this blueprint, which will be announced by the end of 2015. We are targeting until 2030, another 15 years. I count again Lithuania's active and strong engagement and leadership on that. Third priority, we have to fight climate change. We may be stepping on a tipping point, depending upon which direction you are stepping your foot. We may fail, we may succeed. And from here today, I'm going to Warsaw tomorrow to participate in this World United Nations Climate Change meeting. Ladies and gentlemen, there are many programs around the world. United Nations deploys more than 120,000 peacekeepers and police and civil servants around the world, mostly in hotspots, in 15 hotspots, and another 15 sources of hotspots to prevent all these hotspots in another 15 places where we deploy special political mission. We provide electoral assistance to dozens of countries every year. We are working to empower world's women and girls and to enable them to enjoy their right, the basic right as a human being. This is a very serious problem. People in Lithuania, after having gained independence, you have made great advances in ensuring women empowerment. The president and parliamentary speaker, Seisma, they are all women, and they have about 40% of senior managerial staff are now going to women. This is an exemplary. But there are millions of women whose human dignity are just brutally ignored and abused. United Nations takes it the priority to ensure that women and girls, they enjoy their human dignity. Again, as we promote the sustainable energy, education for all, and end to hunger, and struggle against the disease and maternal mortality, we have made important progress, but there is much more work to do. That is why I'm standing here. That is why I'm still working hard as a Secretary General, traveling many places and meeting and urging and appealing to world leaders, business community leaders, civil society leaders, that they should work together with the United Nations for humanity. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, the United Nations also works at another level. And it is in that area that I'd like to make a special appeal to you today. Almost 700 years ago, Grand Duke Gediminas of Lithuania wrote an open letter of great consequence. It read in part, and I quote, "We open our kingdom to every person of goodwill, knight, peasant, cobblers, any manner of workers," end of quote. What does this mean? This was more than an invitation for outsiders to come and practice their trade and their faith. It was also an early expression of tolerance, a value Lithuania holds dear, and that has been among your country's defining characteristics. We are suffering, and many people are suffering because of lack of tolerance, understanding, mutual respect for the others' tradition, the others' way of belief, way of thinking, and religions, and ethnicities. We are living in a very small global world. We have to raise the threshold of this tolerance. In 1992, the Lithuanian artist Vadas Drema wrote that, I quote again, all of Europe created venues. People from every country in Europe, Lithuanians, Jewish, Polish, Germans, Italians, and Scandinavian culture. It is all here in Vilnius. This is the end of point. Like many other countries, Lithuania has suffered. Your country has endured invasion, war, persecutions, horrors, and Holocaust. But Lithuania has worked hard to rise above these struggles. The world can see Lithuania, a Lithuania that is building on the best of its history and placing human rights and the rule of law at the center of its priorities. Yesterday, November 16, marked International Day of Tolerance, a time to reaffirm our commitment to upholding human equality and promoting mutual understanding. Given your country's dedication to combating intolerance, I'm glad to be in Lithuania to make this appeal to the world. Tomorrow, November 18, I will visit the concentration camp at Auschwitz-Birkenau to pay my tribute to the victims. Above all, Jews of many nations, but also the Roma, homosexuals, dissidents, the disabled people, and mentally ill people. Anyone the Nazis deemed inferior according to their strange and appalling racial theories. In recent years, I have traveled and visited and stood with the widows and the families of the victims of Srebrenica, paid my respect at the mass grave of genocide in Rwanda, in Kigali, and also visited the genocide memorial in Phnom Penh, Cambodia. I believe it is absolutely essential to see the concentration camps, to stand with the survivors, and to proclaim our commitment to remembrance of the past and prevention for the future. I will also sound the alarm about intolerance that still plagues us. We see this poison in the increasingly sectarian dimensions of the conflict in Syria. In Syria, well over 100,000 people have been killed during the last 2.5 years. We have 9.5 million people who have been affected by this crisis. We have a humanitarian tragedy, humanitarian crisis. There is a lack of political dialogue. There is almost no political dialogue. That is why United Nations is now addressing this Syrian crisis in 3 important dimensions. First, destruction, complete destruction of chemical weapons. Second, providing daily humanitarian assistance to all these millions of people who need our support. And I, as a Secretary General, with the key members of the Security Council, are working hard to convene an international conference in Geneva as soon as possible. There is no such military options. Only this problem, only the political dialogue and solution can bring resolution to this tragic crisis. We see it in the Central African Republic, where a collapse of law and order has led to horrendous attacks and reprisals between communities that have lived the North in peace. We see it here in Europe, which is still trying to banish age-old anti-Semitism while wrestling with new waves of discrimination against migrants, Muslims, and other minorities. The United Nations is fully engaged in the struggle to eradicate discrimination and prejudice, and in the long-term struggle to change mindset that lead to violence. The United Nations Alliance of Civilization, which we have initiated, works to counter extremism and build bridges among people, communities, and countries. It is working hard to raise mutual respect and understanding among peoples, among countries, among religions, and among ethnicities. Our human rights mechanisms set standards and provide the mechanisms for protecting people, including vitally important rights defenders. My special advisors on genocide prevention and the responsibility to protect keep a close watch on situations across the world where the precursors of grave crimes might be evident. UN tribunals and special courts, as well as the International Criminal Court, seek to combat impunity, deliver justice for the victims, and serve as a deterrent against future crimes. We have also just embarked on an effort called Rights Up Action Front, Rights Up Front, to enable the United Nations to do more and better in preventing, containing, and stopping grave crimes. When people face such situations, they expect the United Nations to act. We are determined to uphold their responsibilities. Mr. President, professors, ladies and gentlemen, to build a culture of peace and tolerance, we need young people, like students who are present here today, who will lead this world from tomorrow. Young people are the leading edge of our new world. Half of the world's population is under 25 years of age. This world is very young. Then we have to provide decent opportunities, social, economic, and political opportunities, so that they can broaden their space and their contributions. With the due information technologies at your fingertips, you can find the new ways to link up with the like-minded people and support UN causes. The world faces tremendous pressures, but this is also a moment of opportunity. With so much at stake, and even more that we can achieve, we need peoples and nations to come together with each other and through the United Nations. I ask you all, above all, to be a global citizens. There is nothing which can work, and there is nobody which can live in isolation. All the problems we face here, work, whether negatively, positively, interconnected way. They are all entangled. And nobody can live in isolation in this world. We are living in a very small global family. Therefore, everybody needs to broaden their global vision. People living in Lithuania, people living in Europe, European Union, they do not appreciate much what's going on around the world. The wall may be very high for you to look beyond what's happening outside of your country. Try to reach out, have a strong passion, and have a strong compassion for others who may need our support. There are billions of people who are eagerly, desperately need your support. The support from Lithuania, support from European Union. I'm confident that the people of Lithuania will continue to be a strong partner of the United Nations and helping us to build a life of dignity for all. Ladies and gentlemen, let us work together with the United Nations, combined with a strong sense of solidarity, to make this world better for all. And I thank you very much for your leadership and actions. Thank you.